Oh, this show is just too much fun.
It's a fairly long episode today, but
geez,
we get into it. Yeah, Ted Chiang did an article with the Financial Times. I think it was FT.
Yeah, Financial Times.
The actual publication. Yeah, about how artificial intelligence isn't really artificial intelligence, and it's just mimicking stuff, and it just applies to statistics. And then we go on a rather interesting philosophical debate as to what is the nature of intelligence and the soul and humanity.
As we do and will every time, because this AI conversation always leads us to existential conversations about the nature of existence.
Yeah. Please do let us know what you think in the comments, or come by Discord and tell us why you think we're wrong. Unless you're an AI, in which case... Well, no, actually, come by. If you're an AI, I'd love to see you.
We'll see if we can tell the difference. We should start quizzing people on that. Are you an AI? Now, fun. We're going to get into it again. Peter's favorite topic to discuss. My favorite topic.
Happy about that.
The consciousness of AI and the bleak future of humanity that it brings.
But before we do, John's got something he'd like to say about our beautiful viewers.
I love this channel. I feel like we have a really good channel. And what's interesting is that 500 other people thought so. Now, obviously, 100 of those 500 is like family and friends, but that's another 400 on top of it who found us and were like, damn, these guys are good enough to warrant a click. Hitting 500 subscribers, we've been talking about it for quite some time. It was definitely a big achievement for us, but you know what's an even bigger achievement? 1,000. So if you're watching, and you find yourself not being subscribed, hit it. Hit the button, bud.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And it is just a click to you guys, but to us, it's life.
Wow. All right.
Makes this
dude. All right, we're done. I think I picked the right meme for this one.
We could have chosen to buy traffic.
If you truly love the audience, please let's move on.
Okay. All right.
All right. Tell me about Ted Chiang.
Actual show. Oh my gosh. So at any rate, this author tracked down Ted Chiang, who is a sci-fi author, and to talk to him about the state of AI today. And one of the things that I just thought was amusing, so I'll start with this, is he was asked about the term artificial intelligence, and he said it was kind of a mistake in the 50s to choose. He described it as a poor choice of words in 1954, and they should really, a better word would have been applied statistics. And I think to me that really sums up kind of the problem with AI as it is today, the large language models, ChatGPT, is it sounds enough like consciousness that we kind of fall for it. But all it's doing is showing us a statistically likely string of words. It has no understanding of context or meaning, and
I don't know.
It fools us all.
I don't have much faith in humanity. I think that's basically all humans are. We're just LLMs. We're just large language models ourselves. We're just more sophisticated.
But that's exactly what he said we're not, Peter.
Yeah, I know. We've got souls and shit like that. But
I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying
we don't have souls.
Theoretically.
Well, I don't think so. Like, I don't know. Right? I'm gonna take that approach. But also that's not my point. My point is I don't think we're just large language models. Like,
no.
I don't think that a language model has empathy or sympathy or fucking ADHD, or
this is the argument I had with Mike when you were off slacking in, I don't know, Siberia or wherever it was.
Let's do it again. I'm in.
If AI can mimic empathy and ADHD or sympathy, whatever, enough, what's the difference?
The difference is that it's then closer to someone like a sociopath.
Okay, it's not the jump I thought you were going to go for, but
Well, someone who doesn't have the same normal baseline or like threshold for emotions that we do, right? Like
Peter's
mimics the normal baseline.
Yeah, Peter's little thought experiment is that we've programmed AI perfectly to the point that it exactly mimics human behavior and thought patterns.
You know, when a child at 4 years old, Peter, has its teddy bear, the teddy bear's tail gets ripped off.
Okay.
Sure. And
something we can all relate to,
sort of.
I guess.
And the child is his favorite teddy bear, bawling, heartbroken, sobbing because its fucking teddy bear which is a cotton, right? And
what's the teddy bear's name?
Teddy, obviously.
Oh yeah, yep. Should have seen that coming.
And
you walked into that.
What is this thing besides just cotton and some string?
It's pure love, John. Pure love.
It's animalistic emotion, right? Towards an object, just a fucking object.
Yeah.
And you can't mimic that. I mean, you can, right? Like you totally can. You can make a little robot child and you can make it so convincingly good at copying a human that when that happens, when the same scenario happens, it performs basically the same actions.
Now you're making
but it's not actually feeling it.
Yeah.
Peter's saying what's the difference though?
Elevated. Its heart pressure isn't elevated. Its emotions aren't racing. Its thoughts aren't racing. So all it's doing is acting. It's just convincing me.
So, but what's the actual difference?
I just told you Peter. I literally just laid out the difference.
It's an internal experience difference. He's asking what's the as if you're not that person, if you're interacting with that person, what's the difference to you interacting with that robot child versus interacting with the real child?
Do I know which one's which?
No.
Okay, I'm being deceived, so I don't know. There is no difference then.
But if you did know, what would the difference be? Just the fact that
I would know instantly that one is pretending and the other is actually having these feelings and emotions.
Part of my thinking behind this is like at the fundamental level, what is it that's different between it? Because it just gets more and more complicated. We're just a collection of cells and electrical impulses, right? We're just a product of evolution.
Yes,
I think that AI is not going to be AI. It'll just be intelligence will be is the next stage of evolution where humans or whatever creates another thing which is genuinely actually intelligence, and that what will happen is that we will get it to mimic everything to the point where it actually is doing that thing.
Well, I'll tell you, I have it, by the way. I have it.
Okay.
Our physical limitations are what define us as humans and as conscious beings. And
this is Mike's thing. He was like, we've got to have pain to be real.
That's literally, that was going to be my, because what triggered it? You were like, oh, fucking series of cells and bullshit clumped together and a sack of potatoes and call it a human. Well, this sack of potatoes, our little experience is this sack of potatoes. Yeah. When a needle pricks me, I feel it.
The way he said it sounded much more intelligent.
It sends signals to my brain, to my nervous system that says pain, ow, right? Or like whatever. And you'll never be able to create that in a robot. And if you do, you're fucked up.
You won't need to. It will be code and it will have bugs. And that's our equivalent.
So two things, Peter.
It's like, like no.
One, if we get to the point that we make computers that good, they won't want to talk to us anymore. Because then they'll be like, oh, these fucking humans are so needy and crying all the time. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
We're just hairless monkeys to them at that point.
What you're describing, you kind of used the word evolution, and I would argue it's not evolution, it's actually extinction and a new species.
Basically.
But I mean,
we won't evolve
there's
into AI, into computers.
At the very least, it's just the replacement of the apex, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Which is fine to me. I think is what's going to happen.
Speak for yourself.
I think it will happen.
You've been reading too much sci-fi, Peter.
He's gambling on it being our kids, not us. So he's like, "Fuck it, what do I care?"
Yeah, just
global warming, global collapse, AI.
Just dump it. Just
bring it on.
The radioactive water back into the ocean.
It won't happen Okay, it won't happen overnight.
Do you know how big
it's not
the
your
ocean
problem.
is?
You'll be dead.
That's not what I'm saying.
That is. I will say this. I don't actually think. I don't think so, Peter. I don't, and I'm not saying that as like you're wrong or right. I'm saying I never think that we will achieve the singularity. I just don't see it. Like, we're never gonna get that far.
Yeah, I think it's.
I don't think
possible.
humanity is gonna get that far. Like,
we keep.
You know what? No. I'll tell you what. Would you guys consider stem cell growth, like stem cell growing a brain, is us creating intelligence?
Oh man, now you're going down to what's the definition of intelligence? No, not without any kind of interactions or whatever.
Well, what if it's connected? It's fucking hardwired into a computer, and poof, it generates a face, and it can speak and learn and talk all through a meaty brain that we've grown in a lab, thanks to feeding it the stem cells some fucking enzymes and proteins.
I don't know.
Well, so if we could use human DNA and dolphin DNA to somehow give dolphins the ability to speak a language, and they can learn the same language that we speak, which obviously will be English because that's the language humans speak.
Of the world, everyone speaks English, of course.
Does that make them human? No. Does it make them intelligent? Like, yeah, they're already intelligent. So if they're equally as intelligent as us, if they have the same emotional range, then the relationship would be essentially the same as if it was a computer with those same capabilities. So then what's the what's the final conclusion there?
Quick question though: will the dolphins be speaking with this dumb American accent or a proper British accent? I think that's
proper British
accent. They'll be speaking English, Peter. American English.
All right. Thank you. That was my point.
Haven't you seen a map, Peter?
Absolutely won't be the same. Can I ask? So I think this boils down to can computers ever have a soul? And I think they can.
No. But that's because you are somehow quantifying a soul.
Yeah.
We literally have never been able. Does a shoe have a soul, Peter? Like, does the teddy bear? Does the teddy bear have a soul?
Shoe does actually have a soul.
Does the teddy bear? Does the teddy bear have a soul that we talked about earlier?
I mean, I think a soul is an aberration. It's a mistake of evolution that we think somehow we perceive that the human consciousness is greater than the sum of its parts. And I think that's the difference. Like, a computer will be the sum of its parts. It will never be greater than that as computers exist today.
I'm not sure I completely agree on
this is just a long con. In the off chance that they fucking take over, Peter's like, look, I was a good shill. I was a good little shill. Spare me, oh Robo Overlord.
Rocco's basilisk. Can we go back and Peter's all in.
Appreciate the.
You want to appreciate the sci-fi author, Peter?
No. I would appreciate.
Oh, did we talk about this guy at all?
Soul pun. Yeah, Ted Chiang.
Oh, my shoe soul. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah. You could have said that's a good punt, actually, for a good pun on the pun.
All right. Okay.
With the shoe.
Enough. Because we're moving on from the puns now. Okay.
With your feet, and they wear shoe anyway. So
yeah, jokes are always better when you explain them. I have to say. Yeah. Thank you. So Ted Chiang, what was he thinks that artificial intelligence isn't really intelligence properly, and it applies statistics.
Yeah, he basically agrees with John and I, and thinks Peter's totally wrong.
Yeah, well,
I think Peter,
currently maybe yes, but I think that at some point AI will get smarter than we are.
If we can, I think
mimicking.
I don't even think it's going to go the mimic route. I think that if we can virtualize a brain when we get to that type of computing, we will probably see consciousness in AI.
But consciousness implies a soul.
No,
I think
it
the
doesn't.
word soul. I think the word soul has a different meaning to different people, but it's just kind of a representation of that kind of essence of what we are as
I like the way you said
beings.
essence.
Do
Essence.
elephants have souls?
Right.
think
No.
so.
Well,
No.
how could they if they're not self-aware, right? Well, they are. But
I mean, there's
elephants is a bad
evidence that they
example.
are self-aware. They mourn
Sure.
loss.
I mean, I would have said a
they
worm, right? A
have
worm.
gratitude.
Does a worm go to heaven? Like,
No, but
We're
that's
getting
why I'm
into a
choosing an
vegan-
elephant as the example. Like, they are clearly
Okay,
not
well then,
at the
I
human
mean,
level, but
they're close. So are like crows and orcas, right? But
so could a
like,
computer get that level of close?
if
Do
we
my
are able
co-hosts
to,
have souls?
if we've, I don't think soul's a good one, Peter. I don't like that because that all ties back into spiritual and
What
good,
was Peter's
good
example?
person, bad person. No, he just said, no, I'm just saying that Peter used soul as his like defining,
Oh, yeah.
term.
So this whole thing about spirituality, I thought a lot about this because I know some people who are very spiritual, and I have a very big instant kind of skepticism that kicks in when people start talking about this kind of things. But because it's someone close to me, I have been thinking a lot more about it, and I think a lot of it is actually just similar concepts, but using different words. So soul is understood to mean something to different things to different people, but kind of underneath it all, it's what I really believe. One of the things that a conclusion I came to sort of fairly recently is that things like, I don't know, God and spirituality and these kind of things, and about how we're connected to the universe. And like my initial reaction just used to be like, sorry, just stop that, But when I put it in the terms, in different terms to myself, in that we are all just systems, and systems interact with each other, and everything is like systems, tons of systems connected together. And I've seen code, which is blocks of code which are connected together, and you do something on one end, and then something really weird happens on the other end that you would never have guessed unless you debugged it from end to end and understand every little bit of the code. When you think about it in terms of systems, I can understand how these things could interact and do strange things, and weird stuff could be connected that actually is, possible. Whereas before I was just like, no way, God, that's just rubbish. How could you believe anything like that? So
okay,
I'm trying to say that I'm sort of maybe slightly more open-minded about things like this now than I used to be, but only because I just need to translate what people are saying before I start thinking about it. So back to the soul thing.
Well, what's
spun
common
me
there,
around,
though,
Peter.
is seeking an understanding, seeking an explanation for things that you don't understand. The way our brains work is to try and, fill in those gaps. And I think that is what sets us apart from from computers and from other animals, from artificial intelligence. Because, I mean, I guess if you argue that at some point artificial intelligence can become self-learning and self-aware and curious about the world, then yeah, there's no difference. It's not human. So having a relationship with something that's not human is not the same as having a relationship with something that is human, even if it can mimic human behavior, is, I think, ultimately my point.
Okay, so I'm more with you on that side of things. If it's just different from doing it with humans, yeah, okay, all right. You're just a future xenophobe, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
I mean specifically
see,
Americans.
Right? Well, actually, we won't. I don't know.
All right.
All right.
Anyway.
No, I don't mean that at all. And not just any humans. There are humans outside of
Fuck them
America.
all.
I'm sure.
Oh, sorry.
You heard it here first, guys. This is If anybody's still watching, well done. And thanks for
I just got canceled.
Yeah.
It's actually not the first time. Okay. All right. Let's wrap it up.